Stop. Put down that spoon and listen carefully. Your kitchen is currently a crime scene, and you are the unsuspecting victim. Don't panic, we're in this together. But you need to know the truth. Everything you thought was healthy or natural in your fridge is a lie. Your favorite snacks have betrayed you. I'm going to reveal 33 dairy secrets that will change how you shop forever. Prepare your soul, your stomach, and your wallet. It's going to get messy. Fact 1. Sour cream 15%. The great imposter of the dairy aisle. Imagine you are standing in front of the refrigerated section, reaching for that familiar plastic tub to top your baked potato. You expect a dollop of creamy goodness straight from a farm. Oh boy. The reality is that no cow was even invited to this party. What you are actually holding is a chemical emulsion of hydrogenated vegetable fats mixed with a laboratory-grown starter culture. Manufacturers use palm oil to mimic the texture of milk fat because it costs 70% less than the real thing. They whip it into a frenzy and add thickeners to make sure it doesn't slide off your spoon. It's essentially a tub of white-colored plant grease dressed up in a tuxedo. Your potato deserves better. Welcome to the world of edible illusions. Enjoy your meal. Fact 2. Curd cheese, 9%. The tropical fat trap. You walk into the kitchen on a sunny morning, planning to make a healthy, high-protein breakfast. You scoop out a bowl of what you think is traditional curd cheese, feeling like a fitness icon. Guess again. This 9% treat is often a counterfeit product where the expensive milk fat has been surgically removed and replaced with cheap palm stearin. This industrial fat has a melting point higher than your body temperature, meaning it coats your mouth like a candle. To keep it looking like cheese, they dump in a cocktail of stabilizers and modified starches. It's less of a dairy product and more of a chemical construction project designed to look like a rustic snack. It has as much to do with a cow as a plastic plant has to do with the Amazon rainforest. Bon appetit! Fact 3. Butter 72.5%. The spread in disguise. Picture yourself spreading a thick layer of gold on a warm piece of sourdough toast. You're waiting for that rich, salty melt that defines a perfect brunch. Stop right there. That butter is actually a tactical spread hiding behind a legal loophole. It contains only 50% milk fat, while the rest is a murky blend of vegetable oils and emulsifiers. This mixture is engineered to stay soft so you don't tear your bread, but it's actually a sign of a diluted product. They use beta-carotene to dye it that healthy yellow color, so your brain thinks it's premium. It's essentially the margarine of the 1990s wearing a fake mustache and a trench coat. You're paying for a luxury car but getting a bicycle with a cardboard frame. Spread carefully. Fact 4. Russian cheese, the plant-based plastic. You're at a party, hovering over the appetizer tray, picking up a slice of classic yellow cheese. It looks firm, it looks salty, and it looks like something a mouse would die for. Well, keep dreaming. This specific variety is frequently a cheese-like product, where 30% of the structural integrity comes from vegetable fats. Instead of aging for months in a cellar, this stuff is stabilized in a matter of days using calcium chloride and synthetic dyes. It doesn't melt, it just sweats out industrial oil when heated. It's basically a block of solidified vegetable soup with a dash of dairy flavoring. If you tried to age this like a real wheel of cheese, it would probably just turn into a puddle of sadness. Pure plastic. Have another slice. Fact 5. Smoked braided cheese, the liquid smoke illusion. You're looking for a salty, smoky snack to go with your evening drink, and those braided strings look artisanal. You imagine a craftsman hanging these over a slow-burning hickory fire in a wooden shack. Ha! In reality, this is basic curd mass that has been dunked in a vat of liquid smoke, a chemical flavoring that mimics the scent of a forest fire. To get that iconic golden glow, they don't use thyme, they use yellow food coloring number 5. The smoke is just a concentrated distillate that takes seconds to apply, saving the factory weeks of production time. It's the culinary equivalent of a spray-on tan for your food. You aren't eating tradition, you're eating a lab experiment with a salty kick. Smoke and mirrors, dig in. Fact 6. Select milk, the powdered resurrection. You see the words select or premium on a milk carton, and think of a happy cow named Bessie in a green meadow. You think this milk is so fresh it practically skipped from the farm to your glass. Ouch! This is actually reconstituted milk, which is a fancy way of saying they took dry milk powder, added industrial water, and stirred it until it looked white again. During the drying process, the milk loses its soul and most of its volatile nutrients, so they have to add synthetic vitamins back in. It's a zombie beverage, milk that was once dead and has been brought back to life by a factory worker with a giant whisk. It's basically white water with a high marketing budget. Refreshing, isn't it? Drink up. Fact 7. Cream 10%. The thickened lie. You're pouring a splash of cream into your morning coffee, expecting a rich, velvety swirl to elevate your caffeine fix. You think you're being decadent. Think again. Most 10% cream on the shelf is just skim milk that has been enriched with vegetable fats and heavy-duty stabilizers like carrageenan. These additives are there to create a mouthfeel that your brain mistakes for actual fat. Without these chemicals, the mixture would look like gray water. It's a masterclass in texture manipulation, where the goal is to make the cheapest liquid feel like a luxury ingredient. It's basically milk on performance-enhancing drugs. Your coffee is now a chemistry project. Welcome to the lab. Think that's bad? You have no idea how deep the rabbit hole goes. We haven't even touched the fruit yet. Stick around because the next 10 will make you want to buy a cow and move to the mountains. Fact 8. Drinking yogurt, the starch and shadow show. You're rushing to work and grab a healthy drinking yogurt filled with real fruit pieces. You feel like a health-conscious superstar. Oh dear, those fruit chunks are often just flavored pieces of gelatin or starch-based imitations infused with artificial aroma. The yogurt itself is thickened with modified cornstarch to give it that creamy body without using actual expensive milk solids. To keep the fruit from sinking to the bottom, they use a net of stabilizers that would make a construction worker proud. It's essentially a liquid candy bar with a few bits of dyed sponge tossed in for decoration. It's the ultimate marketing heist disguised as a probiotic miracle. Sugary deception. Enjoy the fruit. Fact 9. Glazed curd snack, the palm oil armor. You're looking for a quick, sweet treat and pick up a small, chocolate-covered curd bar. You think it's a tiny protein boost wrapped in cocoa. Guess what? 60% of that snack is a glaze made entirely of palm fat and sugar, with almost zero actual cocoa butter. The curd inside is a whipped mass of vegetable fats and preservatives designed to survive for months on a shelf. It's a sugar bomb wrapped in a layer of edible wax. Eating one of these is like eating a sweetened candle with a soft center. It's the king of junk dairy and has never seen the inside of a real creamery. A chocolate-flavored lie. Sweet dreams. Fact 10. Processed cheese, the Frankenstein scraps. You're making a grilled cheese and reach for that shiny, amber-colored processed spread. You think it's just melted cheddar. Ha! This is actually the garbage disposal of the dairy world. It's made by taking the trimmings and offcuts of various cheeses that were too ugly or old to sell, then melting them down with sodium citrate. This chemical salt allows the fats and water to mix into a smooth, shelf-stable goo that never separates. It's a recycled product that has been chemically lobotomized to ensure it always looks the same. It's the hot dog of the cheese world. Don't ask what's inside, just don't look too closely. Culinary recycling at its finest. Melt away. Fact 11. Condensed milk, the sweetened desert of deception. You see that iconic tin with the blue and white label and instantly think of your grandmother's kitchen and thick, caramelized treats. You expect a simple reduction of milk and sugar. Oh, how naive. Most modern condensed milk is a Frankenstein's monster of dry milk powder, tap water, and a massive dose of cheap vegetable fat. They use industrial mixers to force these ingredients into a thick sludge that mimics the viscosity of the real thing. It's essentially a sugar-flavored syrup designed to clog your arteries while whispering sweet lies about tradition in your ear. It's a liquid brick of palm oil and glucose, pure nostalgia bait. Have a spoonful. Fact 12. Ice cream, the frozen vegetable cloud. You're walking in the park on a hot summer day, treating yourself to a big scoop of classic vanilla bean ice cream. You're looking for that premium, dairy-rich cool-down. Stop right there. That creamy texture isn't coming from a cow. It's coming from hydrogenated coconut or palm oils, whipped with air until they double in volume. Instead of expensive vanilla pods, they use vanillin, a synthetic byproduct often derived from wood pulp or petrochemicals. The milk involved is usually just a splash of whey powder for color. It's basically a frozen, aerated vegetable cloud that won't even melt properly at room temperature. It's a chemical snowman, brain freeze included. Fact 13. Chocolate-covered bar, the Wax Museum special. You bite into a frozen treat on a stick, expecting a crack of high-quality dark chocolate followed by rich cream. Reality check. The chocolate coating is actually a confectionery glaze made of low-grade cocoa powder and palm kernel oil. It's designed to have a high melting point so it doesn't melt in the delivery truck, which means it feels like waxy plastic on your tongue. The inside is a dairy-like foam stabilized with gums so it feels thick, even though it's mostly air and sugar. You are essentially eating a sweetened candle on a stick. It's the mannequin of the dessert world. Looks great, but has no soul. A total wax off. Enjoy the crunch. Fact 14. Fruit ice, the neon acid trip. You choose a fruit ice pop because you want something light and natural compared to heavy dairy. You see a picture of a strawberry and feel refreshed. Ha! There is zero fruit in that stick of ice. What you are holding is a frozen block of water, high fructose corn syrup, and a massive hit of citric acid to make your mouth pucker. The vibrant color comes from coal tar-derived dyes, or synthetic pigments that could probably stain a concrete sidewalk. It's a neon-colored chemical popsicle that provides a sugar rush and a stained tongue, but zero vitamins. It's literally flavored water with a marketing degree. Cold, hard deception. Lick away. Still hungry? You're tougher than I thought. Most people would have sprinted to a farmer's market by now. But get ready, because we're moving from the sweets to the savory section, and the lies are getting even bigger. Fact 15. Milkshake, the stabilized air bubble. You're at a fast food drive-thru, sipping on a thick, frothy milkshake through a giant straw. You think you're drinking a blend of milk and premium ice cream. Error! Most commercial shakes are made from a base of dry milk solids, thickeners like guar gum, and industrial stabilizers. They use high-speed aerators to pump as much air as possible into the mixture, creating a thick sensation that is actually just a stable foam. If you let it sit for an hour, it doesn't melt into milk. It collapses into a weird soapy puddle. It's a sugary gas leak in a cup. A total airhead. Sip slowly. Fact 16. Acidophilus milk. The branding. Rebranding. You see a bottle of acidophilus milk and think it's a revolutionary medical-grade probiotic for your gut health. You pay a premium price for the scientific name. Oh, please. In 90% of cases, this is just regular old kefir or sour milk with a tiny symbolic dose of acidophilus bacteria added at the very end, just so they can put the name on the label. The bacteria count is often too low to actually survive your stomach acid anyway. It's the same drink you've known for years, just wearing a white lab coat and charging you double for the consultation. It's a marketing placebo. Pure theater. To your health. Fact 17. Snezok, sweet milk, the liquid candy trap. You pick up a carton of this snowy milk drink thinking it's a light, fermented dairy snack for your kids. It sounds so innocent and pure. Wrong. This is basically a gateway drug for sugar addiction. It's low-quality milk loaded with an astronomical amount of refined sugar and nature-identical flavorings to hide the sourness of the cheap base. It has more in common with a soda than a glass of milk. Manufacturers love it because the sugar acts as a preservative, allowing the product to sit on the shelf forever. It's a sugar-coated milk bomb. A white lie in a box. Sweet, right? Fact 18. Varinets, the labeling shell game. You're looking at the shelf and see Varinets next to Ryazhenka, thinking you're choosing between two distinct ancient culinary traditions. You think the flavor profile is uniquely different. Ha! For most mass producers, they are exactly the same liquid, pulled from the same vat of baked milk. The only difference is the ink on the packaging. They create variety on the shelf to take up more space and give you the illusion of choice, but the production process is identical. It's the twiddle-dee and twiddle-dum of the dairy aisle. Same juice, different box. Choose your fighter. Fact 19. Cultured buttermilk, the ghost of bacteria. You buy a bottle of traditional prostokvasha, or cultured buttermilk, thinking you're getting a living drink full of active, beneficial bacteria. You want that raw, probiotic power. Stop! Since this milk is industrially pasteurized after the fermentation process to extend shelf life, almost all those hero bacteria are dead before the bottle even hits the truck. You are drinking a bacterial graveyard. It has the sour taste, but the biological engine is cold and silent. It's the culinary equivalent of an empty battery. It looks the same, but there's no charge left. Dead on arrival. Bottoms up. Fact 20. Cream cheese, the thickened illusion. You're spreading cream cheese on your bagel, expecting a rich, fermented product made from pure cream and salt. You want that New York deli experience. Not today. Most commercial cream cheeses are actually just cheap curd mass whipped with a heavy cocktail of stabilizers like locust bean gum and carrageenan. These chemicals hold the water and fat together so the cheese doesn't weep on the shelf. It's an engineered paste designed for maximum spreadability and minimum ingredient cost. It's basically edible caulk, flavored like a dairy product. A total cover-up. Spread it thin. Warning, we are entering the hard cheese zone. This is where the real crimes against humanity happen. If you have a favorite pizza topping, you might want to look away now. This is your last chance to remain blissfully ignorant. Fact 21. Mascarpone, the acidic shortcut. You're planning a fancy tiramisu and reach for a tub of Italian mascarpone, expecting the peak of Mediterranean luxury. You think you're getting a delicate, naturally aged cream. Oh boy. In the industrial world, this isn't the result of craftsmanship. It's just 35% fat cream curdled instantly with a shot of citric acid. They skip the traditional ripening process entirely, using stabilizers to force a thick consistency in minutes. It's essentially instant cream that's been chemically shocked into a solid state. You're paying a premium for a product that's basically a high-speed lab accident. It's a Ferrari body with a lawnmower engine. Luxury lies. Enjoy the dessert. Fact 22. Ricotta, the salty rebound. You buy a tub of ricotta for your lasagna, imagining a fresh, whey-based delicacy straight from a Roman farmhouse. You expect light, fluffy clouds of protein. Guess again. Most store-bought ricotta is actually just standard curd cheese mixed with heavy amounts of salt and stabilizers to mimic the texture. Real ricotta is made by recooking the leftover whey from cheese production, but that's too slow for big business. Instead, they just grind up cheap acidic curd and add water until it looks right. It's a second-hand cheese masquerading as an artisan specialty. It's the recycling bin of the dairy world. A salty deception. Layer it on. Fact 23. Mozzarella in brine, the Buffalo Bluff. You see those soft white balls floating in liquid and think of an authentic caprese salad on the Amalfi Coast? You expect the rich, fatty tang of water buffalo milk. Ha! 99% of the time, this is a cheese product made from the cheapest cow's milk available. To get that rubbery, elastic texture, they use industrial citric acid and rapid heating techniques that strip the milk of any real flavor. It's essentially an edible bouncy ball that's been soaked in salty water to make it feel fresh. It's the fast food version of a heritage classic. A rubbery illusion. Slice it up. Fact 24. Feta-style brined cheese. The sheepish lie. You're making a Greek salad and reach for a block of brinza or feta, expecting the sharp, gamey kick of sheep or goat milk? You want that Mediterranean soul. Error. What you're actually buying is a block of solidified cow's milk fat bleached to look white. Since cow's milk is naturally yellowish, they use chemical whitening agents or heavy filtration to trick your eyes. They then dump it into a supersaturated brine to hide the lack of flavor with pure salt. It's a cow in sheep's clothing. A total salty masquerade. Crumble with caution. Fact 25. Circassian cheese, the pressed curd scam. You see Adigi or Circassian cheese and think of a traditional smoked or fresh wheel made with ancient techniques? You expect a complex hand-pressed texture. Not even close. In mass production, this is just standard curd mass that has been thrown into a hydraulic press and salted until it's as hard as a brick. There is no fermentation and no aging. It's just dehydrated milk dough. They use high-pressure machines to squeeze out the moisture so they can sell you a heavy block of nothingness. It's the plywood of the cheese world, a total pressure job. Bite down hard. Fact 26. Smoked Sulaguni, the perfume palace. You're looking for that iconic, elastic Georgian cheese with a deep, smoky aroma. You imagine a mountain village where cheese hangs over a wood fire for weeks? Oh, please. This Suluguni is often a cheese-like product, where the smokiness comes from a chemical spray called smoke flavor. They take a standard unaged cheese, dip it in a brown dye, and spritz it with a synthetic perfume to give it that charcoal scent. It's essentially a block of rubber that's been through a car wash of artificial additives. It's a scented candle you can eat. A fragrant fraud. Dig in. Fact 27. Braided string cheese, the plant-based rope. You pick up a pack of chichil or string cheese, thinking it's a high-protein snack made from pulled mozzarella. You expect dairy strings. Guess what? This cheese is frequently loaded with up to 40% vegetable fats. To get those long, thin fibers, they use industrial stretchers and emulsifying salts that hold the palm oil in a string shape. It's essentially an edible rope made of plant grease and salt. It has more in common with a candle wick than a piece of cheese. A total tie-up. Pull a string. Fact 28. Grated Parmesan, the wood pulp special. You're finishing your pasta with a generous dusting of grated Parmesan from a green shaker. You think you're adding a sharp, aged Italian masterpiece. Stop! That cheese is often a blend of the cheapest, youngest hard cheeses mixed with up to 10% powdered cellulose. What is cellulose? It's literally processed wood pulp, sawdust, added to prevent the cheese from clumping together. You are seasoning your dinner with a forest. It's a chemical dust storm hiding in a plastic jar. A woody deception. Shake it well. Fact 29. Sliced cheddar, the chemical sunset. You're making a burger and reach for those perfectly square, neon orange slices of cheddar. You think that color means flavor and age. Ha! That orange hue doesn't come from rich grass-fed milk. It comes from a massive dose of annatto dye, or synthetic colorants. The cheese itself is a processed product full of melting salts and phosphates that allow it to sit at room temperature without turning into a puddle. It's the Crayola of the dairy world, bright, waxy, and entirely artificial. A colorful lie. Melt it down. Fact 30. Young Gouda, the 2-week wonder. You buy a wedge of mild Gouda, expecting a cheese that has spent months maturing in a temperature-controlled cellar. You want that buttery, nutty finish. Not today. This young Gouda is often rushed through the factory in just 14 days, instead of the traditional 4 months. They use accelerated ripening cultures, chemical enzymes, to force the flavor to appear before the cheese is actually ready. It's a teenager cheese pretending to be an adult. It's the fast-forward version of history, a total rush job. Slice away. Fact 31. Blue cheese, the injection site. You're feeling sophisticated and buy a piece of Door Blue, imagining the mold grew naturally in a cool, damp limestone cave over many months. You think it's a gift from nature. Oh dear. The mold in these mass-produced blocks is often injected manually with giant needles in a sterile factory. They force the penicillium spores into the center and use air pumps to make it bloom overnight. It's not a natural growth. It's a controlled infection. It's the Botox of the cheese world. Completely manufactured beauty. A blue-blooded lie. Sophisticated, right? Fact 32. Camembert, the yeast infection. You pick up a small wooden box of camembert, expecting a gooey, runny center and a noble white mold crust. You want the taste of Normandy. Guess again. Most supermarket versions are under-ripened, meaning the inside is still a hard, chalky block. The white crust isn't noble mold. It's often a fast-growing yeast film that mimics the look but lacks the earthy flavor. It's a dead cheese that has been stabilized, so it never actually reaches its peak. It's a statue of a cheese, not a living food. A whitewashed fraud. Slice into it. Fact 33. Philadelphia, the nameless imposter. You're making a cheesecake and reach for the famous Philadelphia-style spread, thinking you're using a legendary American cream cheese recipe. You expect the gold standard. The truth? This product has absolutely no connection to the city of Philadelphia and is often just a cream-flavored spread, thickened with locust bean gum and whey protein concentrate. It was named Philadelphia simply because, in the 1870s, that city was known for high-quality dairy. It's a 100-year-old marketing scam that never stopped. You're buying a brand name, not a cheese. It's the celebrity influencer of the dairy aisle. Famous for being famous, but hollow inside. A total identity theft. Spread the truth. Now you know. Your fridge is a museum of chemical engineering, and your toast is a crime scene. But hey, at least the packaging is pretty, right? Next time you're at the store, read the back of the box, if you dare. Would you like me to generate a shopping guide on how to spot the few real products left on the shelves?